How's it going, guys? This is Najam. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to review this USB capture card. You can get one of these on AliExpress for £5. You can get this in USB 2 and also USB 3. The USB 2 version does 1080p 30 FPS maximum, and the USB 3 version, which is the one I'm going to review, does 1080p 60 FPS. For those of you who don't want to watch this whole video, I'm going to summarize it. I do recommend this, highly recommend this for using your camera as a webcam, but I don't recommend it for anything else because there are frame drops at 1080p and it doesn't stick to 1080p 60, and I'll show you that in the video. In this video, I'm going to show you using this in OBS. I'm going to use it with my Panasonic G9 as a webcam, and I'm also going to show you if you can use this to record gameplay for voiceovers and everything, and to see if this is a good option to start recording gameplay videos. Now we start by taking a look around the device. It's very simple, it's very small, it's very cheap. You have the USB 3 output on one side, which goes into your laptop or your PC, and on the other side it has a HDMI in. So it will work with almost any device that does HDMI. So you can plug your PC into it, you can plug your laptop into it, you can plug a smartphone into it, you can plug the Nintendo Switch into it, and it will allow you to record the video output from any of these devices. For £5, this thing does a lot. So I've got my Panasonic G9 plugged into my PC, and I'm going to show you how this works. Let's go ahead and switch over to the different cam, and you can see I'm recording in OBS right now, and the audio that you're listening to is from the Zoom H5, but you can also use the audio from the camera. So I've got a microphone plugged into the G9. I don't know where to look, either this screen or the camera, and when I actually played it, this sort of capture card allows the audio to come through as well, and it sounds pretty nice. You can see this here. So I've got the Zoom H5 as the default device, so that's where the audio is coming from right now. You can use the built-in microphone in the G9, which is popped up as this one here. So here I'm going to show you the OBS setup over here. So go ahead and click on properties. Now this does have drawbacks which I don't like. I'm going to go ahead and use the PC only so you can see what happens. Sorry, I think I might be better off with it just over here. So I'm going to show you what happens with this. So this is the device plugged in. I got the USB 3 version, which is the one that I recommend because it does 1080p 60, as you can see. But if you go ahead and now it is going to freeze, so you won't be able to see me. There's only one camera, there's only one input, but you have these. Now if you go to motion JPEG, it's going to freeze, and I don't know what it is. And the FPS goes to if I go into 422 option, you do have only 5 FPS, and I'll start again, and as you can see it is only 5 FPS and it looks rubbish. The only options here is 5 FPS, so it really is rubbish. And I don't know if the color is better, but I mean I like the BGR3, which looks the best. I'm going to go ahead and switch to it now. I'm going to make a correction here. After further testing, I have noticed that there's a big difference in the color space, and so using YV or YU12 is actually better because it gives you more dynamic range and more color information. Now another thing I want to mention is that it does also have this weird line going. So you can see scanning. Oh, there we go. As you can see, there is some scanning going on. If I move up and down, as you can see, it just, that's another issue. But again, it's £5. So I have got the camera on 4K 60 out going into the USB capture card. If there is a 4K 60 FPS signal going into the capture card, it will have this scanning line going through the video feed, and that doesn't look good. But if you switch the input going into the capture card down to 1080p 60, that goes away. Now there is also an offset. So if you want to use an external microphone like I'm using right now, there is an offset of 250 milliseconds. So I've got both of the audios on offset, and so there is a bit of a delay in that. If you can plug in a microphone to the G9 or the camera that has mic in, You won't have to sync up the audio to the video. Like I've got this microphone plugged in, I need offset. You won't need that, so that's really nice. And the other thing is the video is going to be in sync as well, so that's just a hassle that's taken away as well, so that's pretty nice. So I have been using this capture card to record my screen as well, and I'm going to go over my findings in this section. So as I mentioned earlier, you can have a 4K 60 FPS signal going into the capture card, but there is a scanning line going through it and it doesn't look nice. And to get rid of that, you can switch down to 1080p 60 FPS input, and then that line does go away. And as you can see, now I'm going to be using the YV12 emulated color space in OBS, because in my opinion it does look the best and it does allow 60 FPS in 1080p. So I plugged my laptop into the capture card and I'm gonna show you the original video side by side with the recording. First off, there's a big difference in the latency when you switch to a lower resolution. Now ideally you don't want to do this, but if you go ahead and switch to 720p 60 FPS, you can see that while the video does look much worse, it does look a lot more smoother. So here is the 1080p 60 FPS recording from my laptop, and as you can see it looks really good. Now as far as the quality goes, as you can see it's not perfect and it does look ever so slightly soft, and there is some sort of sharpening going on. You can see some artifacts around very contrasty parts of the video, but all in all, for £5 I can't really complain. It looks pretty nice.
And over there, by that stall, she's got some coin. Well done. You truly are the master thief of Anbar.
Is that jealousy I hear?
Hardly, oh great.
Now let's go ahead and compare the 1080p 60 FPS recording next to a 720p 60 FPS recording from the same capture card, and you can see how much different it looks. You can see that while the video is a lot more softer because it is a much lower resolution, it also is a lot more smoother. Now if I go ahead and compare the 720p footage next to the 1080p footage, we can clearly see that the 1080p footage is not 60 FPS. And also the 720p footage does occasionally drop frames, but it picks back up really quickly, so I'm not going to give you a fault for that, especially since this only cost £5 or £10 without any discount. When you're using this capture card, it is not live video, so you will not be able to see on the OBS screen in real time. There is a little bit of a delay, but in a lower resolution it does improve the latency quite a bit. Now it's not in real time, but it is a lot more smoother and a lot more snappier. Although it does look like it has some sharpening artifacts and everything, it does look like a very nice footage for a £10 or a £5 capture card. So after looking back at the footage, it seems like it does 720p really well, but when you switch to 1080p, it looks more like 30 FPS. I don't think it does 60 FPS. Now I did play some videos and it does look really smooth, but I think that's because of the video. But if you do record gameplays or fast action, it doesn't really look like 60 FPS, especially when you compare it to 720p capture from this capture card. That does look a lot better as well. But I think for £5, it's actually pretty good. I don't think I have to say anything, that pretty much sums it up. For videos like this where I'm sitting in front of the camera and I'm recording, this is fine. For £5 it's quite a lot. But I don't recommend it for recording gameplay videos or anything like that. In that case, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to just get OBS and get a PC and then just record. You won't have to worry about anything. You just record and it'll just work. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, I don't recommend it for gaming videos. I think I would have wanted to use it as a gaming capture card, but it just drops frames. It's not nice. So yeah, apart from that, it does work. If you want a face cam like this, then for that I do recommend it. I've got my G9 plugged into the USB as well, so there's power going in, and so it's gonna have long battery life. So to conclude, if you are looking for a capture card, a 1080p 60 capture card, for gameplay footage I do not recommend this because it does drop a lot of frames in 1080p. Now if you guys have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.